Hi everyone, Sailor Moon and Sailor Mini Moon here, and today we're going to talk about folks that, hate folks who think the Bandai dolls, were made ugly, and that's not true. Well, why we're talking about that is that there's this unhold doll belief that goes that that some folks out there don't think that the Bandai dolls made by the Sailor Moon Bandai dolls, which were made by Bandai, the ones that came out first, in the 4-1 Reichs and the Settle Land, the ones that IRWIN would also sell as well, besides Bandai doing it. And a lot of folks seem to believe that they call them long-leered dolls and say that they're ugly. Well, I don't think that's true. You see, in the beginning, both IRWIN and Bandai were both making the dolls the same way. Or Bandai would made them, and then IRWIN would then have to go out and sell what Bandai had made first before they would make their own dolls. And yes, Bandai is still making the Sailor Moon dolls to this day. And so in the English-speaking world, mostly that being a 4-1 Kingdom and a settled land, and the 4-1 Reichs in New Zealand and all the other English-speaking lands, Bandai would have to make them. That IRWIN would then sell the ones that Bandai made, and Bandai wouldn't get around to making their own dolls at least until about 2001, while by that time Sailor Moon was all over the world by that time. And a lot of folks seem to believe that the IRWIN dolls were made more good than the Bandai dolls, and I just think that's a belief out there. So if you talk to any Sailor Moon follower, young or old, they're going to probably tell you that they believe that IRWIN's dolls were more greater than the Bandai dolls, or Bandai dolls were greater than the IRWIN dolls. But at the end of the day, I believe that both the IRWIN toy and Bandai dolls were good. Can I go on? Yeah. And as you say, Sailor Moon, at the end of the day, IRWIN and Bandai both did think they're great when they made the dolls. I mean, true, they weren't flawless, and still to this day you can't make it look everything like it was on a film or a show or a play, but you can come near to it. And I think I'm made by IRWIN. I'm Bandai doll, and most of the dolls we have are either between the IRWIN or Bandai dolls, and mostly IRWIN dolls. But I think I'm good. And keep in mind, I'm not that ugly looking. I mean, from between 95 while to 2001 while, these were mostly the dolls that were being sold either by Kmart or Walmart or Target or Gold or KB Toys or Toys R Us or Big Lots or wherever, or Ames or Hales at the time, wherever they were selling them at the time. And these are the ones. And yes, I know that, everybody likes to think that we're ugly looking or long-leered, but I don't think I'm long-leered at all. I think that Bandai did a good work making the dolls that they made. And yes, they go on to make other Sailor Moon dolls over the years, and they're still making them, but I honestly believe these dolls, at least because I'm one of them, are not really that bad. But in the Sailor Moon followership, there is always this held belief by some that the IRWIN dolls were more good looking than the Bandai dolls. And at the end of the day, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you think IRWIN was more good than Bandai, or Bandai was more good than IRWIN when it came to making the Sailor Moon dolls, well, that was your belief. And I'm here to say that Bandai made good dolls, alright? There was nothing ugly about them at all. You're right, Sailor Mini Moon. at the end of the day, IRWIN would only start making the dolls that more folks would say were more beautiful dolls, or whatever you want to call them. But that wouldn't happen from 20. That wouldn't happen until at least the end of 20 of 20 until 2001 YL, when when IRWIN would start making them. But by that time, the Sailor Moon show had already ran its 4 followings in the English-speaking world: For One Rights, For One Kingdom, Settled Land, Sovereign Land, New Zealand, and whatever lands the English was mostly spoken in. Sailor Moon was already done. And at the end of the day, it is what it is, you know. I mean, yes, the IRWIN dolls, their Lears looked more near to what they were on the show. They always came with more weapons and things to come with, like either the shape-shifting stick or the half moon staff or a stand or something. And yes, it may be true that Bandai didn't always give you all of those things, but I thought that IRWIN and Bandai both did good work making the dolls that they made. And no, we weren't bought back in the day, but I would think that we were worth a lot. At the end of the day, you can say what you want to say. That's your thought, your belief, good for you. But I think that IRWIN and Bandai both did a good work making the dolls that they made. You know? And a lot of folks are going to talk about the Sailor Moon dolls that have been made over the years, and the ones that are going to talk about the internal ones, or the forever ones. And they're going to say those are the greatest ones ever made, and well, that's your belief too. But all those other Sailor Moon dolls that come out from, were being made starting, I guess, from 24 between YL or so until now, well, they're worth way too much. And some of them need be are not as big of the others. And we're not talking about those dolls. We're talking about the IRWIN toy and the Bandai ones. Why anyone out there would think that they were ugly looking is beyond me. You're right, Sailor Mini Moon. You're right, Sailor Moon. At the end of the day, I thought the IRWIN and Bandai dolls were good. You know, I like both of them, and sometimes it was greater than nothing. You know, but at the end of the day, I thought that, Bandai or, IRWIN both did good work making the dolls. You know. And I know there's going to be someone saying, oh, well, IRWIN and Bandai had some deal with some business in Eastland that was putting the dolls together. Well, however, whoever made the dolls, and they were making them for IRWIN and Bandai. So, at the end of the day, I thought that IRWIN and Bandai both did good work making these dolls. And at the end of the day, what kind of dolls you like is your belief. No truth to back it up, to say if they're ugly or beautiful or not. So, we're getting to the end of this film. And if you like this film, then follow us over here at Sailor Moon for Life. Watch the other film we made yesterday over here. I, Sailor Small Moon Rini, and I, Sailor Moon Serena, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.